I think in this book, this is the most I've ever liked Selwyn. We're pushing 30. Why are we acting like this? I love drama. So we have two white guys doing an 8 Mile-esque rap battle with each other in what looks like an alleyway. And you have a black man come out and say, you need to learn better grammar. Long story short, she was doing a lot of, I want to fight because there's no way you're going to talk to me like that. I didn't even do anything. Hey, I'm gonna be so for real right now. I feel like ass. I feel so bad. For some reason, Friday night, they was like, oh, you wanna be sick. Hey, you gonna be real congested, dog. And then I woke up the next day, just like, it just kept getting worse gradually throughout the day. I'm weaning off of it. We're weaning off of it. If you can hear it in my voice. If you see me holding this throughout the video, because I ran out of tissues. So that's where we're at. For some reason, I sat there and said, you know what? Let me do a Q1 wrap up because I can't properly manage time. My perception of time is completely different, I guess, to what my schedule says. But yeah, it's a bit late, but let's do some sort of a reading wrap up because why not? What else am I doing? Huh? What else am I doing? Coughing and hacking? Let's add filming to that list. Amazing. Yes. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I think there's a headache. No, it's going away. We're back. But yeah, we can do a quarterly wrap up. How about that? And I will tell you right now, again, my perception of time is horrible. So I don't really know how many books I've read. I think I tracked them. So this is based off of Storygraph because that's one thing I remember how to do. So based on Storygraph's perception, in the past 3 months, I've read 10 books, which based on what I know I can do, especially when I was unemployed and how slow I read, this isn't good. This isn't good. And we can do better. I've become a person that reads multiple books at one time. Like, who am I? Who even am I? And because of when I'm filming this, 4 of those books weren't from the first quarter of the year. So I was gonna do maybe like a midway wrap up later for June. But you know what? I don't think that's gonna happen. So let's just get into it. So let's start. Let's start with January. January, we finished 2 books in the month of January, which yay. I read Loved by You by Alexandria Lachelle and that book Disney High, The Untold Story of the Rise and Fall of Disney Channel's Tween Empire. Mouthful of a title, but I enjoyed both. Now I don't really want to be showing Loved by You by Alexandria Lachelle because I made it my main goal to try to not pick up books with AI covers. This one did slip by me because I tried to give her a pass, but now I'm just done. Like I'm gonna talk about this more, but I've come to a point. It comes to a point where if you do not like at least name the cover artist in those first few pages of a book, I'm not gonna promote it. Maybe I'll read it, but I'm not gonna post it on my platform anymore. Like this was a book club selection. One thing that I stress on is promoting indie authors. And I know things are expensive. Like book covers can be very expensive because artists need to get paid as well. So when you as an artist disregard them as an artist by putting AI art on your cover, it just really takes like the whole seriousness and the whole bass out of your voice. Like it just really, where did the wires not cross? Where did it not cross? I don't understand. Like I'd rather take a poorly done photoshopped book cover. You should just go into Canva and have a time. I'd rather take that than AI. And the only reason why I really say like this might be AI because again, if you don't list an author, I'm not gonna read it. You don't name an author. It could just be like for most AI covers, they can't get fingers correctly. Sometimes little details like general body language, it looks weird, or they don't make eye contact. They can't face each other. So it's little details like that on top of like not naming an artist because I love giving artists credit where credit's due. Like you did work. You sat there and you drew that thing. So other people would want what you drew on their book. Let's shout you out. Like that's why an artist wouldn't want that. I don't know. It's none of my business. If the artist could get like shouted out in at least one post, if someone can show me that, I'll take everything I said back. Until then, that's the book that I read. Loved by You by Alexandria Lachelle. It's a second chance romance where they met in college. They had a bad falling out and then now their paths have crossed again in their adulthood. He works in an industry relative to a company that wants to make sustainable housing while she works for her mom, but she really just wants to be an art teacher and wants to be an artist. So in the same town where she lives, they asked her to paint a mural for the building that he's going to put up there. And so their paths cross again. They're in each other's space because of work reasons and they want to reconcile that relationship. And I did think it was cute. I think the writing was good. words, but like a complete, succinct book. But I need a cover artist's name. I need a name or something. Other than that, I did read Disney High, and I wanted to get into more nonfiction books this year. Haven't been doing well at that at all. But I read Disney High, which is basically just recapping the late 90s, early 2000s creation of Disney, or at least of Disney Channel, which I call like the golden era of Disney. And I'm not even gonna say this as like, oh, I got older so it got bad. Nowadays, Disney is like, they only care about animated shows. There's barely any live action things. I think in some places, like, they don't even get Disney Channel anymore. Like, we have a problem with the lack of children's media, because I think during my era when I grew up, that was peak children's media, that was peak Disney Channel. You know, I was getting late season to reruns of Hilary Duff, Even Stevens, Kim Possible, That's a Raven, and Hannah Montana, and Was a Waverly Place, and all that. Like, from Hilary Duff era to Zendaya, Shake It Up, China, McLean, Ant Farm era, Jessie, Good Luck Charlie, like, that was the main era of Disney for me. And I think that was, like, I think most people can agree that was peak Disney Channel for shows and movies. You know, you got hits like High School Musical and Cheetah Girls. And this is kind of a tamer version of the reality of the situation, because we've all know about the Nickelodeon documentary that talked about the horrible things that were going on, the things that happened to the kids on that show, on that channel, because we all knew rumors about Dan Schneider being a complete weirdo. I feel like this book really gave a little bit of leeway to Disney as to how they treated their stars, but there was a lot that I did know and a lot that I didn't know, because again, I was a kid. I would know everything. I just hear things, because we all know the entertainment industry is not fair towards children, towards minors. So there's some things where I'm like, oh yeah, they were treated badly, but like, how bad was it? Or like, oh yeah, their schedule was like this, but like, how strenuous was that work schedule, like, and there's like little things that I did learn, like, that I did learn from word of mouth based on people that did work on these sets, like how Hilary Duff was not kind towards, what was her name on the show? Miranda. She was, like, there was like a little bit of I don't know, not even like beef between Hilary Duff and Miranda, which it can only be explained by, oh, well, she's the main star of the show and she has a different schedule than everybody else, and she thinks that everybody else is favoritism towards Miranda, but it's like, no, babe, you just can't hang out with everybody all the time because you're working. Like, that's all it was. Or like the fat phobia towards Raven-Symoné, which again, it's like half of me is like, yeah, people would be fat phobic, and then the other half of me was like, I thought she looked great. I thought she looked amazing. I didn't know like she had to wear heels all the time on set. Like, I didn't know. I know that I'm watching, I'm just like, okay, fashionista Raven, let's go. Like, that, I was not worried about what her body looked like at all, or how people treated Miley Cyrus in the public eye as this like bad teen. I'm like, she's literally just a girl. She's just a girl. Or obviously we all know what was going on with Demi Lovato, but then again, these are recounts from people that worked there in that environment and what they told back to make this book. And I didn't know about, like, oh, because I was a So Random. I love So Random. I was a Sunny with a Chance girl, and I loved So Random. I mean, they had mindless behavior on as an act, and I ate it up. I love So Random. I am an avid Smosh watcher, so I saw Damien and Shane on there, and I was like, why do their faces look so familiar? And then I get thrown back to that one episode of So Random where Shane and the guy that played Chad were rapping off each other, like in a rap battle, and then you had the black guy come out and teach them grammar, which is something where I'm just like thinking about it now. I'm like, okay, so we have two white guys doing an 8 Mile-esque rap battle with each other in what looks like an alleyway, talking in a verbiage that is not known for white people, and you have a black man come out and say, you need to learn better grammar, is crazy. That's crazy. But then when I got older, I was like, oh, they probably made that in the show because Demi Lovato left for some reason. And then we find out in this book, allegedly, why Demi Lovato left the show, and I was like, oh. You know, long story short, she was doing a lot of, and I guess someone on set of something said something to her and she wasn't having it, and there was a fight. Then she went to rehab. That's the story of that. But other than that, I had a great time listening to it. I did this one on audiobook because I'm also trying to get into more audiobooks. I think when I don't like a genre, I'm going to read it on audiobook. So thrillers, don't like those, I read them on audiobook. Nonfiction books, don't really vibe with those, I read them better on audiobooks because I'm just like listening. It feels like a podcast. But those are 2 books I read in January. tea. Oh my gosh, in February, I read 3 books. I did not see that coming. I read Spring Awakening, North King's Unexpected Inevitability, and So This Is Love. Spring Awakening was an arc that was sent to me by the lovely J.S. Jasper. Thank you, Pookie. So it was an early copy of that book, and it's a Black romance around a rugby player and someone who does the PR for the rugby team. They're cute. What can I say? What can I say other than they're cute? There were times in the book where I'm like, I wish we could get more into like a day-to-day aspect of it. Like, I wanted a more Ted Lasso feel to it. Like, I wanted a more like Keely Jones, because like obviously like a good comp for this book would be Keely and Roy from Ted Lasso, but I didn't really feel immersed in the environment of a rugby team as I did while I was watching Ted Lasso, because imagine you're watching Ted Lasso and you mainly spend the time in his house. So that's what this book kind of felt like, but I think the characters were sweet. Our male main character is bi. Both our characters are bi, but this is one romance book where I don't really read a lot of romance books where the male main character is bi, so that was a new refreshing thing. But we have Molly and Zach, and Molly is gonna work at this rugby team as their PR person, and Zach hates where he's living right now, and she needs a roommate, so we have that close proximity situation, and they both work at the same place. And this is one I didn't do a review for on my bindery page, which I don't know why. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll get the actual finished version of it and do a reread and see if that one holds up better than what the arc was for me, and do a comparison and do a review on that. But I will say the second book in this series is coming out soon. It is sapphic, and it's about the head coach of the team, of the rugby team. The second book in the series just got like announced. Here's a little thing right here where it follows the head coach of the rugby team, Frankie. So I'm excited for that, and I'm probably gonna read the actual book of Spring Awakening and do a comparison. So stay tuned for that on my bindery page if you want to support me as a creator. Okay, next I read North King's Unexpected Inevitability by A.E. Valdez. It is the final book of the Three Kings series, which if you don't know, the Three Kings series is about 3 brothers who own basically a toy company. They're basically like, their dad was basically Santa, but their dad died, and now these 3 brothers own this company. Think Lauren Asher's Dreamland Billionaire series, right? But instead of it being 3 brothers whose dad owned Disneyland and he's abusive, it's 3 brothers whose dad was basically Santa and he's not abusive at all. He's a very loving father. But North King's Unexpected Inevitability follows North and Aspen. North is the baby brother of his 3 brothers, and Aspen is the baby sister of the main character in the first book, Noelle. Because all the other characters are paired off, these 2 spend a lot of time together. They grow in a friendship over the years, and then that friendship has grown into romantic attraction towards each other. But a kink in their romantic affairs happens when North King discovers there is an addition to their little family, and it throws his whole world off because he's a very analytical person. He thinks about everything every step of the way. He thought of everything, and this just happened to be like a fluke in his system. So you would think that would be something that would deter Aspen of continuing a relationship with him, but it doesn't. She's very supportive throughout all of it. They still continue their relationship throughout the book, and Aspen's whole thing is trying to get her life together. She's the type of person that will do multiple jobs at one time. She's always on the move, and everybody's worried about her, just like, is there like not just one thing you want to do? Like, you've been doing a lot lately, and it doesn't really feel like you have any direction in your life, baby girl. So they're both dealing with that, and it's quite a long book, but some authors who write romance deserve that length if you're gonna put that much of a character's backstory that needs to be unpacked. Because sometimes you'll be writing very one-dimensional characters and giving them 500-page, 600-page romance books. I'm like, no, this could have been 200 pages. This could have been 200, 300 pages. But when A. Valdez writes a character, there's like so many levels of stuff that you can unravel with them that, yeah, it deserves the page count that it gets. Some people don't do it right and other people do. You either have it or you don't. And A.E. Valdez has it. So you can go read that one. You can read all of them. I think his book is my favorite in the series. I love a calm, cool, collected character. I love a grumpy sunshine. Like, I was thinking about it today. Like, Luke and Lorelai, that energy, I love that in a book. And that's what this gives me. It gives me Luke and Lorelai. On the opposite note about long books, I read So This Is Love by the homie Mieko May, where we follow a singer, Bryce, Sony, and Layla as they met time and time again after 3 chance encounters. And Bryce is like, no, I gotta see this girl again. I have to ask this girl out. And Layla is very business oriented, focused on her career. She's like, I don't really have time for this right now. And he's like very insistent, like, no, this ain't no coincidence, baby girl. Like, we need to figure this out, because there's no way we've had a chance encounter 3 times. I did write a review on this one for my bindery page. I love Love Miko down. Her first book, Take a Chance, I love that thing. It was short, but it needed to be short. Like, it felt like, oh, you did everything you need to do in those pages. Great, amazing. For this one though, this should be longer. I need another 100 pages stat, actually, because I feel like there were things in here that we could unpack and fleshed out more. I think towards the third part of the book, it did feel a little bit rushing, but again, new author, that's fine. I'm not sitting here writing this shit. I'm just reacting to it, okay? Don't take advice from me, but I do think there was a way where we could draw this story out more, draw it out more, and I would love that, because I love drama. I love drama. But there was one thing in this book that I really wanted to address, which is when I'm reading a romance book and there'll be a character with a sibling that doesn't want this relationship to happen, and they just act like a total jackass the entire time. And that happens in this book, and I'm like, no, she needs to come back here, because I don't understand where this attitude is coming from. Very irritating. In turn, this other book that I read, Sight Unseen by E.L. Calloway, has the same thing in it, right? So we have our two main characters that both get in close proximity to each other because of a business deal or a business collaboration. We have Daryl and Mariah, and Mariah is a lot like Layla in the last book, very business oriented. Meanwhile, Daryl's also very business oriented until he meets Mariah, and now, while I was reading this book, could not pick up on when feelings change for Mariah. We can tell immediately for Daryl when he catches feelings for Mariah, a whole very love at first sight energy. But when it comes to Mariah, it's like she seems very content on not being in any relationship. She seems very one note, very monotone, barely any feelings there unless it's for family. If it's romantic, doesn't really exist. But then there's just one conversation they have where all of a sudden there's a flip and she wants to go out with him. I'm like, I think we've made her a bit too strict for me to believe that, because I was really flipping the page back and forth, like, when did this happen? But once the romance did kick off, it was very cute. This is also a review on my bindery page, and there's also in this book, there is a sibling who does not approve of this relationship that decides to be a dick. Okay, and then we don't get any reconciliation. I want it. I want to fight. Because there's no way you're going to talk to me like that. I didn't even do anything. I was minding my business. Mariah loves taking care of people, caring for and caring about people. So we spend a lot of time in this book with Mariah helping Daryl with his grandmother, taking care of his grandmother. It's very sweet. Next book I read was When Life Gives You Lemons by Nora Sasha. And you're probably thinking, Ebony, you said you read that book last year. I lied. I didn't finish it. I had this book sitting on hold since 2023, probably. I don't remember. But yeah, I love the premise of it, which is, again, it's arranged marriage where our two main characters, Alina and Azir, get into a fight at his sister's wedding, which results in the families being like, okay, yeah, we're putting you two together as basically punishment. Azir has an adoptive daughter, owns a business, and then we have Alina, who wants to run a daycare one day, and she also suffers from epilepsy. And I just think throughout the book, those things have nothing to do with why I didn't like the book. Those aspects of the book were very enjoyable. It's the way these characters are so immature. I'm like, we're pushing 30. Why are we acting like this? The thing that irritated me the most, not even just from that, but it just felt like petty attraction towards each other. I don't know, all your attraction towards each other kind of mostly seems physical. I can see where it kind of seems emotional, but it mainly just seemed physical, because after you found him attractive, you would say something so immature every 2 seconds. I don't know, the immaturity never stopped. It never turned off. It never turned off, ever. The nicknames for each other, which is so... It was getting on my nerves, personally. If I had to call him ass ear one more time, we can't think of any. I feel like we come up with something better. But yeah, that really turned me off from the book, was just because I'm not a big enemies to lovers person, and there's a parts of this book where this enemies to lovers is kind of very comedic. It's an enemies to lovers arranged marriage, and it comes off very comedic, but I don't feel a lot of serious undertones to their relationship. It just all felt like I just couldn't take it seriously. Even while there's a somewhat spicy scene in there, they're still being dicks to each other the whole time. I'm like, I feel like this would work better, translate better on TV for me than just reading it on the page, because I'm like, I wish I was entertained, but I wasn't. Will I read the second book in the series? Absolutely, because look at that cover. You're gonna look at that cover and tell me that it's pretty. It eats down. So yeah, I will. You've drawn me in. You've convinced me. I've been convinced. And then lastly, we read Oath Out by Tracy Dion, which I will say, it did take me the entire month to read, because I was busy. Busy being, I can't control. I don't know. Time is an illusion. So I did take off like a week of reading it because I went on a trip, went a little trip. And I came back and I finished it. And this book gave me so much anxiety that I didn't want to read it at first because we all know, if you didn't know already, I don't like Selwyn. I don't like him at all. He pisses me off on a daily basis. Like everything he does just angers me. I think in this book, this is the most I've ever liked Selwyn. This was the most I ever liked him. This was my favorite book of this series. I love multiple POVs. Okay, I love Will, I love Mariah, I love like going to different places in this universe and just going like, oh, it's like you're watching a TV show and we're cutting scenes. We're like, okay, while this is happening, something's happening over here. While this is happening, something's happening over here. But I had a great time reading this one. I found it so fun. I was really like, oh my gosh, someone's going through it. Oh my god, Nick's back and he's being a menace to society. Oh my gosh, Bree gives me such Korra energy. If you've seen Legend of Korra, if you are an Avatar The Last Airbender lover like me, she gives me such Korra energy. Like she is Korra in a way where she's powerful but yet so stubborn. She's powerful but won't listen to any advice unless it's something she wants to hear. That's what it gives me. I did have a great time. I'm doing a reading vlog of this. I did film a reading vlog of this, my experience reading it, and that will be up at some time. I don't know when, but it'll be up. Stay tuned for that because I don't want to go too much into a review of this without editing and finishing filming that first. So you'll see that soon. And then maybe we'll have like a chat. So I was gonna do one earlier, but then I didn't have time to finish the book in time. So I was like, you know what? Never mind. We will do it later though. We will have a little chit chat later about Legendborn and Oathbound and the series in its entirety. If I were to rank the books in the series right now, it would be Oathbound, Legendborn, Bloodmarked. I did not like Bloodmarked. I did not like this one pace trail that we're going to get from point A to point B for a majority of the book just to go all the way back to point A. No, and I don't like Selwyn. I don't like him. He irritates me. Any character that sits there and it's like, oh, the world has been so rough on me, let me take it out on everybody around me, irritates the hell out of me. Especially in this book, we learn about not only the trauma that Selwyn's gone through, but the trauma that Nick's gone through, because they've been together for so long, for most of the time. They've been around each other all the time. They know each other's traumas. They know what happened to each other. There's a difference between Nick and Sel, where Nick doesn't take out his trauma on everyone else around him, but Sel does. And I understand Sel's been through a lot, but characters can go through a lot and express that in so many different ways. And I hate when the character expresses it in a way that threatens the main character. Because she was minding her business. She didn't do anything to him. That was just a rant. That was a random rant. Okay, the Oathbound reading vlog will come. Oathbound, loved it. Loved it down. So hopefully we're gonna do this again. I have like 4 books on pause and 3 books in my current reads. So that's where we're at right now. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna come back in June. I'm gonna do another wrap up. But yeah, thank you for listening to me rant for like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. How long is this video gonna be? If this video makes it over 15 minutes, I succeeded. But yeah, other than that, what have you been reading? Which books have you hated? Which books have you liked? Which books are you going to read next? Are you gonna read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? Are you subscribed to my bindery page? You should be subscribed to my bindery page. It's great over there. We're having a fun time, and one day we could possibly become our own imprint. Think of it like a Patreon. Over there, I have early access to YouTube videos. Occasionally, I will post a list of indie books that I find that you can check out. I will soon be starting a series of doing book-to-screen adaptations. We're going to be doing reaction videos to those. So if you like a reaction video like me and you want to watch stuff with me, I'll be over there in some tiers as well. It's just a great way to be able to support me as a creator if you can, but also even a free subscription will lead to the possibility of maybe one day being our own imprint, to be able to publish people's books together, which sounds so sick and so cool. So head on over to the bindery page. I have a link in the description below. One subscription to my bindery is free. I'll just be hanging out in your emails. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!